So today we are going to see about data representation in computers. Okay, this is going to be second module. The topic we are going to cover for today's class is how you can simply represent a data which a computer can understand. Okay, and then we are going to see about fixed point representation. You have other type of representation, that is floating point representation, and then signed number and unsigned number we are going to cover, and how an addition and subtraction can be happening inside a computer, how a computer can understand and how it will execute an additional subtraction like arithmetic operations, how the computer is going to execute, that we are going to cover in this today class. Okay. So before getting into all these arithmetic operation, you need to understand how a human understandable data is represented and understood by a computer. Okay, so how the computer will understand the data that you are representing. Okay, can anyone type in chat box how a computer will understand the data, in what form it will understand the data? Yes, type it in chat box. How a computer will understand the data is in terms of bits. Yes, Shangoms has given a yes, type it in chat box. In what form a computer will understand the data? About all others. In binary form, yes. In zeros and ones only a computer can understand the data. In other words, on off electric signals. Yes, Shravesh. Yes, it's an on off electric signals. Okay, binary on off. So internally, a computer can understand the data and it will be represented in a form of zeros and ones, that is of digital signals only. Okay, so the basic unit for common representation of a data inside a computer is called as bit. It is going to be binary digit. Okay, it may be a bit or it can be termed as digit or it can be termed as flag. Okay, so that is the basic unit of computer. What is actually a byte? If you want more than one bits to represent, or you want to make some collection of bits to represent a data, so at the time you want more than one bits, right? You can't only rely on one single bit at the time. If you want to represent the data in higher order, you can collect 8 bits together to form a byte. Okay, it is called as a byte. If you are dividing the byte into two groups as 4 byte and 4 byte, then it is called as a nibble. Okay, and what is a word actually? A word is nothing but an architecture which is going to have adjacent bytes of 2 or more adjacent bytes of information which can be formed as word. That is, for example, 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, that is equal to 16 bytes of information. 16 bits of information, that is called as a word. Like that, the words can be of 16 bits, 32 bits, 64 bits. Okay, like this, you can create a word. Okay, nibbles is nothing but 4-bit halves of the single byte is going to be called as nibbles. Now, each representation is going to be bits. Okay, 4 bits going to be called as nibble. Okay, and 4 bytes going to be 4 bits are going to be formed as byte. 2 or more bytes can form together to form word, and you can go for higher order representation of the same data. Now, how the data can be represented if I'm going to make use of numeric data. Okay, so a computer can understand the numbers as a human can understand a number. Okay, we have our own way of understanding, but globally they make the computer to understand the numbers in a form of representation as positional number system and non-positional number system. Okay, in positional number system we have variety of numbers systems are available. One is binary number, decimal number, octal number, and hexadecimal number, which is most popular and most frequently used. Okay. Now, what is actually positional number system? Today we are going to see about positional number system. Okay, its basic idea is nothing but radix or the base for the number system. If I'm going to have a number which has to be represented in any system, it can be a decimal, binary, octal, or hexadecimal, I will have it as a ai into r power I, where r is the radix point which actually give the integer portion and fractional portion. For example, the radix or the base for decimal is going to be 10. Okay, for binary it is going to be 2. For octal it is going to be 8. For hexadecimal it is going to be 16. So what are all the allowable digits? It will all starts from 0 and it will end with n minus 1. That is radix number minus 1. That is what I is equal to minus m to n minus 1. So that is what the decimal number systems is going to have its value as here. Now, if we are going to represent the values in terms of bits, okay, how you will represent? Okay, for each decimal system, I think in microprocessor you might have already studied this bits representation. Okay, so the decimal value is there. What is decimal? What is the base of decimal? It is going to be 10. Okay, what is the base of binary? It is going to be 2. Okay, for hexadecimal, what is the value it is going to take? It is going to take 16. Okay, so if I had to represent it here, it will be making use of the binary system as 8408421. Am I right? So in this way, it will be representing the values. Okay, so if I'm going to represent one value, I will give the bit only for 1 here. If I have 2, I have to make use of the second position as 2. This is called as positional number system for representing it as a decimal to binary. To binary to hexadecimal also, you have the representation from 0 to 9. You have 10, you don't have 10 here for hexadecimal. Instead, you will make use of the notation as A, B, C, D up to F. So it is going to end up to 15. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Okay. So now we have this data representation in two representation. One is fixed point representation and floating point representation. So for today's class, we are going to deal about positional number system with fixed point representation, which doesn't involve the floating point. That is, no fractional part will be available. Okay. So how to convert these into bases? So I hope you can easily do this conversion. So what you will do if I want to convert 144 to the base 10, that means what? This is actually a decimal number to binary, which is going to be of base 2. Okay, so what you will do, you will just divide it by 2 as far until 10 is coming. Okay, after that, what you have to do, you have to make to come from bottom to top to represent it in a form of binary. Okay, so this is a simple conversion. So if I am asking you to convert to the base 3, I think I have an example here. Okay, I hope you can understand this. 144, if I have to convert into binary, I have to divide it by 2 and I have to write down what is the value of 147. If I divide by 2, then I will get 73. Then the remaining value I have to write it over here, and then again 36 divided by 2 I have to write it over here. I again divided by 2 I have to write it over here. So like this I have to make sure that the binary conversion has been done. So now if I want to convert into base 3, so what I will do, I will simply divide by 3 and I will see what is the remainder that I have, and then again from bottom to top I have to write it down. So this is what a binary representation of any number. So tell me whether this number is a signed number or unsigned number. It is an unsigned number. I haven't included any plus or minus sign to represent whether this is a positive number or negative number. So this is a unsigned integer. For example, if I'm having this type of representation, decimal to binary conversion but with floating point number. So how I can do that? You just divide it as this is going to be the actual integer I am going to do. This is going to be the floating point fraction that I have to convert into what number? I have to convert into a binary number. Okay, so here I'm going to do 28 divided by 2. So I am getting some value and I'm going to write it from bottom to top. Okay. So now how I will convert the fraction part into binary? I have to multiply by 2 and I have to get the value. Again, this value has to be multiplied by 2 and I will get the value. Again, I have to multiply this by 2 and I will get the value. But the only thing is, from instead of bottom to top, you will write it from top to bottom. So that 0.001. So what you will do, you will concatenate this and this to represent the value for 28.14125 as 11100.001. So this is how you will convert the decimal to binary number. So now coming into this signed number, how I can find out the representation of a number. For only for positive numbers, it is okay if you are going to deal with the unsigned representation. If your number is going to be 8, by default what it is actually, it is positive number only. So it can come under unsigned representation. But in case of signed representation, you have to make sure whether this 8 is going to be plus 8 or minus 8. If I am going to represent it as plus 8, for that I will be making use of 0 as the sign bit. If the sign bit is equal to 0, then it is positive. If the sign bit is equal to 1, then it is actually a negative number. Okay. If I have to represent the signed number, I have 3 ways to represent it. Okay. In the signed magnitude form, I can represent, or in the 1's complement form, I can represent, or in the 2's complement form, I can represent. Okay. So now, what is actually a signed magnitude? We'll see how a signed magnitude form will actually work first. Okay. So I'm having a n bit magnitude number. Okay, I'm going to represent the number in a form of binary. The number I'm going to take is going to be plus 8. Okay. Now, how many bits I'm going to represent is 8 bits representation. Please don't get confused with the 8 bit representation and the number 8. The number I'm going to represent is 8. Okay. For representing it in binary number, how many bits I'm going to consider? 8 bits I'm going to consider. Okay. What I have told you, the last 1 bit, okay, the least significant number, okay, it is going to be the what? Sign bit. For example, what is the binary representation of 8? It is actually 1000. Okay, but how many bits I'm going to make use of to represent? I'm going to represent in 8 bits. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Add 4 bits along with that, and the last bit is going to be what? It is a sign bit. Okay, do you understand? And then if I'm going to represent it in a minus 8, again I'm going to have the same plus 8 representation, same thing, but the only difference is I'm going to make the sign bit as 1. Okay, so if it is 0, it is positive number. If it is 1, then it is a negative number. Now, what is the representation of plus 5 using 5 bits? Plus 5 using how many bits? Only 5 bits I am going to take. Okay, this is going to be the least significant bit, and this is going to be the most, sorry, here it is going to be the most significant bit. Okay, so now what I am going to do is plus 5. What is the binary equivalent for 5? 1, 0, 0. But how many bits I am going to represent? 5 bits. I am going to add 2 zeros over there. But I am going to check whether it is a plus or a minus 5. It is plus 5, then the sign bit is going to be 0. Okay, if I'm going to represent this in a form of minus 5, then it will be 1. Okay, so now what is the 5 bits representation of 11? Okay, type your answer in the chat box. Everyone, please type your answer for plus, sorry, it is, you have to make use of 5 bits for plus 11. Okay, 11. Type your answer in chat box. For 11, what is the answer? No answers from you. What about other? We don't understand or what? Type the 5-bit representation of plus 11. Yes. Yes, I think Srujan has given the first answer. Yes, correct answer 01011. I think Rohit got slightly come up with 8 bits. I'm asking 5 bits. Yes. What about others? Isha has given correct answer. Yes. Satyan, Adit, Arade, Anupam, Kaushik, everyone has given the correct answer. 01011. Okay. Yes. Ashwin Morley has given correct answers. Yes. Ayush Singh. Yes. Okay, so everyone has come up with the correct answers. Yes, I think one of the person has come up with 8 bits. Okay, so now I'll give you the next question. What is the 8-bit representation of 12? What is the 8-bit representation of 12? I'm asking in 8 bits representation, not 5 bits, 8 bits. Last time one person has given 8 bits, right? Yes, in the same way, what is the 8-bit representation of 12? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it has to contain 8-bit. I think first who has given the answer? I think it's good. The chat is getting overflowed. Okay, yes, Vansh Kumar has given, Rohit has given correct answer. Yes, others, all others. I want everyone to just type your answers to make sure whether you're attentive in the class. Sometimes if attendance, I got some confusion, I will just see this chat and see whether they have given the answers or not. Don't simply copy the other person's answer and paste here. You think and do. Yes, Anupam has given. Yes, okay. So 4 zeros, 1 1 0 0. So that is going to be the for plus 12. So now for minus 11, what is the 8-bit representation? Type in chat for minus 11. For minus 11, what is the answer? What is the value for minus 11? Okay, in 8-bit representation, minus 11. For 8-bit representation, minus 11 I'm asking. Yes, I think first answer, correct answer is going to, it's is going on and on. Yes, Gargi has given, Gokul, Ebenezer, Devang, Kaushik. Yes, Bhargavi Rao, only few answers this time. I'm asking for minus 11 in 8-bit representation. Everyone just type in chat box. Everyone type in chat box. I think Gudupalli has given 9 bits. I think he just type it as a phone number like yes. Yes. Garg has given, Abhiraj has given, Ashwin Murli again given correct answer. Yes. Sachdeva has given correct answer again. Yes, Gudipalli again come with 8-bit. Yes, Gudipalli, you are being noted. Yes, Jugal Jain. Okay, fine. So you people are listening to the class. So I can come to such a conclusion, right? So now we can represent all these in case of signed magnitude. We have been dealing only with signed magnitude form. Okay, so now I'm going to tell how arithmetic operation can be carried out with these numbers. Okay, first you have to check the signs of the numbers. This is going to be A first number, B is going to be other number. I'm going to do some arithmetic operation. It can be an addition, it can be a subtraction. Okay, if it is going to be identical, okay, just simply add the numbers. Just simply add the magnitudes. If it is different, what you have to do, you have to perform small checking. If the value of A is greater than value of B, then you have to place the sign of A of result. For example, plus 5. Okay. If it is going to be minus 3, what you will do? You have to add a number. You have to place a sign of A as the result. If it is less than B, you have to perform the complement of it and you have to do that. Okay. So now let me tell you how actually an addition or subtraction will happen inside a computer. Okay. Your number, for example, if I'm going to add A plus B, okay, 5 plus 3, I'm going to give. So the A register will be having the value 5 here and the B register will have the value 3 here. So this is what the input registers, A and B registers will take the first number and second number. Okay. So now from where the operation will start is from here, mode control M. From here it will start. If for example, if the mode is equal to 0, That means the addition operation will happen. If the mode is equal to 1, a subtraction operation will happen. If the mode is equal to 1, what will happen? The subtraction operator will take the complement of the number and then it will send to the parallel adder. Okay, then it will send the value to the parallel adder, and then the parallel adder will have will give the value to the value as the result, and it will return the output. What is this BS and AS actually? AS is the sign bit of A and BS is the sign bit of B. Okay, and then A is going to be the output carry if there is a overflow when you are adding any two numbers. Okay, and then what is this AVF actually? AVF will add the overflow flip-flop. It is add overflow flip-flop. It will be triggered when there is a overflow condition during the addition operation. So the numbers will be given input here, and if it is a negative number, it will check for the sign of the number. If it is a negative number, it will take the complement of it, and then it will do the addition here by taking the A and B. If there is a excess carry is there, output carry is available, it will be available in E. Okay, during complementing, if there is a overflow condition occurs during complement also, it will be added in the AVF. Okay, so this is the flow chart for doing the addition operation and subtraction operation. If there is addition operation, you can just simply send the value of A and B, and then you will do the XOR of the value, and then you will find out the excess carry over that by making use of A plus B complement plus 1. At the time you will make the AVF as 0, and then you will check whether it is A is 0 or 1. If it is 0, then it will take the complement of it and you will add. If it is equal to 1, you will be check whether it is equal to 0, and you will get the result at the end. Okay, in case if you're going to do the subtract operation, you have to make sure the least value that is minion should be in A and subtrahend should be taken. Okay, so the overflow of that is the flow chart of the excess table is given here so that you can understand. So now what happened inside this hardware implementation? In simple, A register will be there and then B register is going to be there, complement order will be there. If there is an addition operation, that is the accumulated value will be equal to accumulated plus B. It will be normally it will be added. If it is subtract, it will simply take the complement of it and it will add. So this is what you need to understand in the hardware implementation of signed 2's complement addition and subtraction. So now how the signed magnitude numbers can be added? If you are having an operation like this, plus A plus B. So what it will do? It will simply you do the A plus B. If the number is A is greater than B, then what you have to do? You have to make A minus B here. If A is greater than B, then you have to take minus of A minus B. So in this way, you need to check whether the number is A greater than B or A less than B or A equal to B. Then only you can do the signed magnitude number addition or subtraction. If it is an addition, it is simply as easy as you do normally in usual way. If it is a subtraction, you have to check whether A is greater than B or A is less than B or A is equal to B, and then you have to accordingly follow these methods to do the subtraction. Okay. So how to take the complement of a number? Complementing a number is nothing but bits flipping. Okay, so if I'm going to take there are two complements are available, 1's complement of a number and 2's complement of a number. If it is 1's complement of a number, it is nothing but having the range from minus 127 to plus 127 bits it can actually hold. That is the range of 1's complement number. In 2's complement number, you have the range for the bits as minus 128 to 127 bits. So this is going to be the least integer. This is going to be the highest maximum possible integer for 1's complement and 2's complement. Okay. So now how to do the 1's complement? 1's complement is what? simply flipping the bits 1 to 0 and 0 to 1. That's it. That is called as ones complement number. So if I am asking you to take for example, so this is going to be the number, this is going to be the decimal part. Okay, don't get confused. Okay, 2 to the base 10. Okay, and then minus 9 to the base 10 expressed in 8-bit binary ones complement form. So how can you do that? You have to first write down the value, you have to write down the binary representation of 23, which is 10111, and then since it is 8 bits, you have to go up to 7 bits, and the 8th bit is going to be the sign bit. Okay, so you have to write down here. This is straightly you can write down here. There is no flipping of bits for positive number. Okay, if they are asking in ones complement, but if they are asking you to write a negative number, negatively signed number in ones complement form, again you are going to write down the binary equivalent of it. Okay, this is going to be minus 9. Am I right? So for minus 9, if you're going to take the, you have to represent in ones complement form, what you have to do is to simply flip all the bits. Okay, so 0 to 1, okay, 0 as converted as another 1, 0 is flopped as 1, 0, 1. Just take the complement of all the numbers by 0 to 1, 1, 1 to 0, and you represent it as minus 9 to the base 10. This is how you can represent in a, you can find out the ones complement of a number. For positive number, please don't flip the bits, but for positive, for negative numbers, you are supposed to flip the bits, but the sign bit is going to represent whether it is a positive number or a negative number. But see here, it is going to be 0. So that means what? It is plus 23. Okay. So now, how the before that, what is the binary arithmetic we are going to compute in ones complement form? So far we haven't entered into twos complement form, simply in ones complement form. So for positive number, you just want to simply give the twos this binary number. For negative number, what you have to do, you have to take the complement of it. That's it. This is what you know about ones complement. Okay, there are two cases available when the positive number has greater magnitude. Okay, if the negative number is having greater magnitude. So what you have to do, you have to take the ones complement of the negative number and the end around carry of sum is added to the least significant bit. Okay, this is the first rule. If the number is going to, the positive number has greater magnitude. Okay, when the negative number is having the greater magnitude, what you have to do? Okay, so in this case, the addition is carried out in the same way as in case 1, but there will not be non-ended around carry. So you have to ignore the carry. Okay, the sum is carried obtained by taking ones complement of the magnitude of the bit, and it will be a negative number. Okay, we'll see one example so that you can understand. Okay, so first case is when the positive number has greater magnitude. So among these two numbers, this is A, this is B, which is having the highest magnitude. That is 14 is going to be having that is the positive number is going to be having the highest greater magnitude. Okay, so minus 13, what is the answer? It is going to be plus 1. So I am going to represent it in a binary form. Okay, here I am going to consider it as a 5-bit register. Okay, in 5 bits I am going to carry out this. Okay, so 14, the binary equivalent is 1110. For minus 13, sorry, for 13 the value is 1101. Okay, for minus 13 I don't know what is the complement of it. Okay, so I'm going to add these two numbers. So this is what? This is going to be plus 14. This is going to be minus 14. Minus 13. Okay, now I have to take the what I'm supposed to do. I have to add the two numbers, right? So 1100. What is the sign bit I'm going to use here? 0, because it is plus number. If it is a negative number, what I have to take? I have to take the complement of it. What is the complement of it? 0, 0, 1, 0. That is what I have written here, 0, 0, 1, 0. So before that, I have to put the sign bit for that number, which is going to be 1. So this is what 1 has come. So I have to add the two numbers. What I am getting? I am getting 0, 0, 1, extra 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. So what I'm having here, I'm going to have the carry 1. So the carry I'm going to add over here to get the answer. Do you understand? The carry that will come here, I will add the carry over here and I will get the answer. That is called as, that is how I'm getting what value. There is 1 is there. What is the sign of that value? It is 0. 0 means what? Positive number. Okay, so this is how you have to add two numbers which have where positive number is having the greater magnitude. Okay, so now 13 plus minus 11. Okay, so 13, what is the binary equivalent? 1101. What is the just hold on a minute. Okay, so I'm having A 13, B is going to be minus 11. So what I'm going to do, 13, the binary equivalent is 1101. The sign bit is going to be 0. Okay, minus 1011. What I have to take? I have to take the ones complement of it, 0, 1, 0, 0. It is, since it's a negative number, I'm putting 1 here. So that is how this number I'm getting. So I'm going to add 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Again 1 will come here. Am I right? That 1 I will add it in, add the carry over here to get the number. What is the number is actually? It is 2. Okay, what is the sign bit of that number? 0. So it is a positive number. So this is how you have to do the addition operation. Okay. So what happens when the negative number has the greater magnitude? So what you have to do? You have to first take the, just simply take the number. Okay, first 1011. Okay, what is the sign bit? It is going to be 0. If it is a negative number, what I have to take? I have to take the complement of it, 1 1. Okay, and then what is the sign bit? It is going to have 1. So 1011. I'm just simply going to add the two numbers. Okay, so what I will do is, if I don't have, I won't get any carry, because when I'm doing the subtraction, surely there won't be overflow in carry. So this is going to be the okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm getting the value if it is minus if it is a 1. Okay, so if the sign bit is going to be 1, so what I will do is, I will take the ones complement of the resultant value. So what is the ones complement of the resultant value? It is going to be 0, 0, 1, 0. Okay, you don't want to take the ones complement for the sign bit. Instead, this 1 represents it is a negative number. Okay, so this is what the rule that I have projected in the first slide. Okay, so what you have to do? The sum is taken ones complement of the number bits of the result and it will be negative. Okay, so you have to take the ones complement of the number at the last time. So this is the difference that you need to understand. Okay, so here here also I'm getting the I'm going to add these two numbers where this negative number is going to have the higher magnitude. Again, I'm getting what? 1 as the sign bit. So 1 means what? It is a negative number. But here what answer I had? I have some different answer. So if it is a negative number, I have to take the ones complement of the given number, which is going to be minus negative. So this is what the answer I'm getting here. Okay. What happens when two numbers are going to be negative? Okay. So when two numbers are going to be negative, okay, they have to be added as well. Okay, in this case, the end around carry will always appear. So what you have to do is, you have to, along with this carry from the most significant bit, will generate 1. The 1's complement of the magnitude is going to be taken as in the previous example. Okay, we are going to do the 1's complement of the magnitude which is going to come. So I'm having this, this is also going to be negative number, this is also going to be negative number. Find out the 1's complement of it. Okay, you check, you just simply add the two numbers and you find the carry over here, and then you just take the most significant bit carry and you add it. Okay, what is the sign bit over here that I am getting? 1. Am I right? 1 I am getting. 1 means what? It is a negative number. So what I have to take? I have to take the 1's complement of the result, that is 1 1 1 1 is going to be plus which is going to be minus 15. This 1 represent minus. Okay, like this you have to take the do the addition operation for both negative numbers. Okay, see here also I have given certain examples, you can simply get into that. Now we are going to see about how to find the 2's complement of a number. Okay, first step is you have to take the 1's complement of the given number and you have to add 1 along with that. Okay, so see here 23, I'm going to represent it as 10111. Okay, I'm going to represent it in what? 8-bit binary number. So 0 0 2 3 4 0. Okay, so what I'm going to represent. For positive number, you don't want to take the 2's complement. The simple binary number itself is called as a is going to be the 2's complement form of a positive number if it is a negative number. So what you have to do in case of negative number, you have to take the 1's complement of the number. So convert 1 into 0 and 0 into 1. Okay, and then you add 1 along with that. So you will get what? 1 1 1 0 1 0 0 1. Okay, so you like this minus 9. Okay, you represent here and then you get the 1's complement of it and then add 1 along with it. Okay, so now how we can perform the arithmetic operation with these two complement number. Okay, so for the upcoming example, I'm going to consider 5-bit registers. Okay, so I'm going to find the sum of the following using 2's complement. So make sure whether your arithmetic is going to be in 1's complement or 2's complement and how many bits involved. Okay, so I'm going to make use of 5-bit. Okay, 11 plus minus 5. What is the answer? 6. Okay, the first case is when the positive number has a greater magnitude. In that case, the carry will be generated is discarded. If you are getting a carry, you simply discard the carry and final result is the result of addition. That's it. Okay, so for 11, what is the binary equivalent? 1011. Only 4 bits are there, which is the 5th bit. That is going to be the sign bit. Okay, that is what I am written here. Minus 0101. So what you have to do? You have to take the 2's complement of the number. So what is the 2 complement of the number? 1010. Okay, plus 1, which is equal to 1011. Okay, that is what I have written here. Since it is a negative number, I have to add the sign bit in the last sign bit place. Okay, I am simply adding the number and the last carry that I am getting will be discarded. Okay, there are whatever the carry it actually takes in. I think here there is no carry. 0 1 1 1 1 and then 0 1 0 1. Okay, I think carry will be coming here. This carry will be discarded. Okay, so what is the number actually? It is going to have 5 bits, right? What is the number? 0110. What is that actually? 6. Okay, what is the sign of that number? It is going to be 0. 0 means positive number. Okay, that's it. This is how you have to do when positive number has a greater magnitude. When the negative number is going to have the greater magnitude, what you have to do? Okay, 3 plus minus 5. Okay, I'm going to write it as 3 here. For 5, I'm going to take the 2's complement. I'm going to add the number. Okay, the result of the addition will be a negative and the final result obtained by taking the 2's complement of the number. Okay, so what you have to do is, since you have got here it as a 1, then you can surely say it is actually a negative number. So what you are going to do is, you are going to take the 2's complement of the result value. What is the 2's complement of the value? 0, 0, 0, 1. This is 1's complement plus 1. If you are doing that, then it will become 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. So this is what the 2's complement of the result. Am I right? Yes. So this is going to be the actual result. What is this? 2. What is the sign of this? This 1. So it is minus 2. Okay, in this way you can do when both the numbers are going to be negative. What you have to do? You have to take the 2's complement of both the numbers, and what you have to do, for each condition there will be some rule. You please stick on with the rule alone. Okay, so when two numbers are added, a carry will be generated from the sign bit, which will be discarded. Okay, so by adding that 0, 1 will become 0, 1 will come, 0, again 1 will come, 1, 1 will come, again 1, 1 will come, here 1 is there. So what you are going to do? This carry is being discarded. What is the result? 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. This is going to be what? The number which you are going to take. So you just take the 2's complement of the number. Again, you are going to get you're going to get the value, and what is the result? It is going to be minus 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so you can do this negative numbers also, for addition of negative numbers. Okay, so they have given another example over here, binary arithmetic or signed numbers using 2's complement. Okay, so now we'll go into another important topic called as overflow. When you are adding two positive numbers, usually what will happen is, instead along with the carry, you will carry will come, sign bit will come. More than that, you will get another bit which is coming out of the result, that is called as a overflow bits. Okay, so who will actually handle that? That V flag that we have seen in the hardware implementation will actually detect the overflow condition. Okay, so overflow for unsigned numbers, the overflow can be detected from the end carry out from the MSP. In the most significant pin, you can find out the overflow. In addition of two numbers, addition of a signed number, usually overflow occurs. Overflow cannot occur if one is positive and one is negative, but if both the numbers are having same sign, positive number, then overflow may occur. Okay, so we'll tell what is the rule for detecting the overflow condition. So this is going to be my actual bits I'm going to allow. Okay, for example, it's going to be 0 to 7. Okay, this is going like that. I'm going to allow. Okay, this bit, apart from this sign bit, I'm getting some overflow here, or apart from here, I'm going to get from the negative number some overflow occurs. So if the carry is in the sign bit equals the carry out of the bit, no overflow has occurred, because there is no carry which actually comes enter into the hardware component of carry bit. Okay, if the carry in the sign bit is different from the carry out of the sign bit, then the overflow has occurred. Okay, we'll see with certain examples. Okay, see here, carry is generated. Am I right? 1, 0, carry 1. Sorry, carry 1. Again 1 plus 1, 0, carry 1. 1 plus 1, 0, carry 1. 3, 1, 1, balance 1. So 1. Okay. Okay. So here what happens? A carry is generated, but still when we are adding the two numbers, what you will do? You will usually discard this number, so there is no overflow. But see, in this condition, if you're seeing in certain conditions, what will happen? Since it is minus 6, it is actually disturbing whether the sign bit is positive or negative. But this is not a sign bit actually. It is it is actually a bit which is overflowed, which is neither a carry nor a sign bit. In such cases, there is no carry, but an overflow has occurred, which will make the output to be incorrect. Okay, so due to the signed overflow, what happens is the entire resultant value will be getting disturbed. Okay, so this is what I try to complete in this class. Okay, So I think we have, with this, we will wind up the class for today's session.